Bonjour et bienvenue, je m'appelle Herman. Welcome back to FrenchStatisticPeople.com. This will be another French grammar lesson, and today we're going to learn about the verb avoir used in the interrogative form. So we're going to try to make questions, form questions using avoir. And we'll do that using the présent de l'indicatif, the present of the indicative. So here are a few sentences using avoir, as you can see in yellow here. Avoir, and we have question marks at the end, meaning that we are dealing with questions. So let me read each sentence here. Elle a faim. Elle a faim. She's hungry. Elle a faim. Vous avez soif. Vous avez soif. You thirsty? Are you thirsty? Vous avez soif. Tu as peur. Tu as peur? You afraid? Are you afraid? So here we're using what we called the intonation method, la méthode d'intonation, l'intonation montante, intonation. And we have a dedicated lesson on that specifically, l'intonation montante. It's a way of asking questions using the intonation. And we have another set of questions here. Est-ce qu'elle a faim? Est-ce qu'elle a faim? Is she hungry? Est-ce qu'elle a faim? So you can see we have basically the same sentences here, but we're using two different methods. Est-ce qu'elle a faim? Is she hungry? Est-ce que vous avez soif? Est-ce que vous avez soif? Are you thirsty? Est-ce que vous avez soif? And finally, est-ce que tu as peur? Est-ce que tu as peur? Are you afraid? Est-ce que tu as peur? Are you afraid? So we have basically the same sentences, but asking questions using two different methods. Here we have the intonation method, and on the other side we have what we called the Esko method. Esko. Esko. It's a way of asking questions using Esko. So let's delve into each one of these methods. We've already done that, by the way. We have a chapter on the interrogative form in French using the intonation and the Esko method, but today we're doing this with the verb avoir. So you can use the intonation method to ask questions in French. We know that already. This method can be applied to any verb, including avoir, plus French idioms. So we've already looked at avoir with French expressions like avoir froid, to be cold, avoir faim, to be hungry, avoir sommeil, to be sleepy. So we're going to ask questions using avoir as a French idiom. Now, keep in mind that this is a casual way of asking. The intonation method, as we have previously explained, is a casual way, an informal way to ask questions in French. So you will usually use that for when you address a friend, a peer, a family member, etc. Okay, so now let's ask a few questions using the intonation method. First, in order to do that, we will need to start off with a declarative sentence. Elle a raison. She's right. As you can see, this is not a question. It's just a declaration, a statement. We are stating a fact. She's right. Elle a raison. Now, we will turn that into a question using the intonation method. Elle a raison. She's right. Is she right? Elle a raison. As you can see, I'm raising the intonation at the end. Elle a raison. She's right. Avoir raison is a French idiom which means to be right. J'ai raison. Tu as raison. You're right. Elle a raison. She's right. Vous avez raison. You are right. So when you say elle a raison, you are asking the question if she's right, and you are using the intonation method to do that. Now, we have another declarative sentence here. Tu as faim. Tu as faim. You are hungry. Tu as faim. If you want to ask someone, are you hungry? You hungry? Tu as faim? Tu as faim? Remember, this is casual. Tu as faim? Are you hungry? Ils ont tort. Declarative statement. They are wrong. Ils ont tort. Now, if you want to ask, they are wrong. Are they wrong? You will say, ils ont tort. Ils ont tort. And where you raise the intonation towards the end. Ils ont tort. Okay, so this is the intonation method, and if you do not quite understand what we mean by intonation until now, we have a lesson, a dedicated lesson on that topic. Next, we will deal with the Esko method, another easy way of asking questions in French. Again, we will have a statement in the declarative form, the same ones that we have used previously here. Elle a raison. She's right. Now, to say, is she right? You will ask, est-ce qu'elle a raison? Est-ce qu'elle a raison? What we did here, we simply placed the phrase est-ce que at the beginning of the sentence, and this will turn any sentence into a question. Est-ce qu'elle a raison? Is she right? Now, the que became QU apostrophe because what comes after, elle, starts with a vowel. So we have to remove the E here of que and place an apostrophe instead so that everything flows better. Est-ce qu'elle a raison? Is she right? Next, tu as faim. Tu as faim. This is our declarative statement. Tu as faim. In order to ask, are you hungry? Using est-ce que, you will ask, est-ce que tu as faim? Est-ce que tu as faim? Est-ce que tu as faim? Are you hungry? Ils ont tort. They are wrong. Est-ce qu'ils ont tort? Est-ce qu'ils ont tort? With the est-ce que will precede the statement and that will form a question. It's very easy. And remember, we're dealing with avoir as a French idiom. So those idiomatic expressions in French using avoir. Avoir raison, avoir faim, avoir tort, avoir peur, etc. And we also have a lesson on that, which we've seen in the previous chapter. Now we have a quiz. As always, we will always end with a quiz. So here you have statements in the declarative form. J'ai peur des chiens. I'm afraid. I'm scared of dogs. J'ai peur des chiens. J'ai peur des chiens. And you will use the intonation method to ask, are you afraid of dogs? You afraid of dogs? And you also use the Esko method to ask the same question. And I'm giving you here an example. So let's read it aloud. This will probably be better as an oral exercise, which you could record yourself and upload your answers in the French lab. J'ai peur des chiens. Again, j'ai peur des chiens. Declarative statement. Tu as peur des chiens? Tu as peur des chiens? As you can see, we have here the intonation. Tu as peur des chiens? You scared of dogs? And asking the same question using est-ce que this time. Est-ce que tu as peur des chiens? Est-ce que tu as peur des chiens? Are you afraid of dogs? Are you scared of dogs? So, go ahead, first write down the questions using the intonation methods and the Esko methods and read aloud each sentence, each question. And it would be nice to upload your questions so that we can listen to them and give you any tips if necessary, and for other members to feel motivated into practicing the French pronunciations as well. Okay, so before I end this lesson, let me read aloud these sentences, these declarative sentences. So the first one, j'ai peur des chiens. J'ai peur des chiens. Nous avons besoin de maman. Nous avons besoin de maman. Slowly, nous avons besoin de maman. Les filles ont raison. Les filles ont raison. Les filles ont raison. Les filles ont raison. Il a froid ce soir. Il a froid ce soir. On a envie de glace maintenant. On a envie de glace maintenant. We feel like having ice cream now. So, each one of these sentences contains avoir plus idiom. It's an idiom, French idiom using avoir. Go ahead and use the intonation method or the Esko method to write down the questions and then read each statement aloud. And with your recording done, you could then upload everything onto the site for everyone to listen to it. Merci et à très bientôt. Au revoir. Bye bye.